I will pray for you, but if you get on my nerve, I will cuss you smooth out. My mouth ain't under control yet, and I can throw these hands. And let me tell you something, if I get my hands on you, I promise you, you gonna know you've been in a fight. But I'm trying not to go there because I'm in transition.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We up late tonight on a Sunday, y'all. It is Sunday dinner here in the palace. We are up and running. We had a beautiful Sunday session this morning behind the wall, like we always do. And then we took a break. And on Sundays, we have Sunday sessions. And we come back and we have supper in the palace. We have supper. Our cups runneth over. We are gathered today at the table and we are having Sunday dinner. And the topic of Sunday dinner, you know, when you sit down when you're in, okay, Queen, hold on, you're going too quick. Back up, back up. Can you tell us like the symbolism of Sunday dinner? Yes. You know, when you're gathered with close friends and family, and you're going to start off eating and the food is cooking and the aroma of the food just kind of it consumes the home. It's very therapeutic. It's good for your mental health, whether you're hungry or not, whether you're planning on eating or not. It's just something about the warmth and the smell of food, right? Whether it's an expensive meal, a midpoint range, or whatever, ramen noodles. Coffee does the same thing and it produces a therapeutic effect. So that's what we do on Sunday dinner. And I'm going to tell you what's on the menu tonight. I found this wonderful recipe. I love supporting other content creators and influencers. Hey, if you got something good, I'm going to push it out, right? Um, so I found this content creator. I don't know her, but it came up in my algorithm. And she made some smothered chicken. And baby, when I tell you she laid it down like I ain't never seen it done before, and I duplicated that recipe. And when I tell you, y'all, it is finger licking good. Man, oh man, oh man. So that's what we're doing. We're having smothered chicken tonight in the palace with rice and gravy. We got a little bit of potato salad. We got fresh chopped tomatoes with a squeeze of lime, fresh Himalayan salt, pepper with a little bit of sprinkle of feta cheese. And that's what we're having for dinner. That's the Sunday dinner. Well, you know, every time you sit down with close friends and family as you're eating, you kind of navigate and flow in and out of different topics after you get through the nitty gritty and just the baseline of hellos. Well, tonight's topic is grow the fuck up. Because that's basically what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant told Shannon Sharpe in this interview. She grew him up in real time. And people were pleased with the results, you know, of the level of accountability. Let me just say that. People seemed and appeared to be pleased with the results, okay? And not only that, we going to just kind of talk about it and walk through it. But y'all, guess what? So in the process, we're going to talk about that. I want to review it. I want to break it down in real time. But as I was prepping for this, I discovered that Trayvon Boykins issued a formal apology to Russell Williams, Sierra, and Russell's family. I don't know how y'all feel about that. He went on record to apologize to Russell Wilson for shitting on him after he invited him to his home for Thanksgiving. And I don't know if I'm going to be correct in saying what I'm about to say, but I think the fact that the men chimed in the chat and the men got active and the men had a lot to say, I think that had a lot of influence on Trayvon coming back out to apologize to the family of Russell Wilson, to apologize to Sierra. Because, see, one thing I've learned through research, experience is people are more apt to believe and listen to men before they are with women. I used to be an international flight attendant right after I graduated from college. And I could get on that microphone and say, ladies and gentlemen, we have not reached our cruising altitude. We ask that you please remain seated until the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. Right now, this is a critical phase of flight, so if you're up and about the cabin, please return to your seats. Nothing. They would still get up. So then I would have to pick up the phone, or most women would have to pick up the phone and call the captain and say, they're out of their damn seats. Can you make an announcement? Because I done told their asses 3, 4, 5 times. And they still out of their damn seats. And then the captain would come on and say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain. I'm coming in from the cockpit. Right now, we're still climbing and we haven't quite reached 30,000 feet. We're going to ask that if you're up and about the cabin, please return to your seats, until I release that fasten seatbelt sign. And once I do, you're free to move about the cabin. Thank you. And then motherfuckers will start to sit down. Okay? They'll just sit down. And they'll sit down simply because a man asked them to. You see the differences? We both saying the same thing. We're both telling you that now is not the time you're breaking policies and procedure. I told you really nicely as a woman, but I couldn't make an impact. And I just kind of picked up the phone. And that's why I don't blame women for calling men to reinforce them. You see what I'm saying? And I just pick up the phone. Hey, can you come help me out? Because they're not listening to me. And the captain would come, and then the problem would be solved. So I believe because the men like Shannon Sharpe, the men like Ocho Cinco, the other men in the NFL had something to say, that Trayvon recognized this ain't cool. This behavior that I'm exhibiting, it ain't cool. And even though I'm talking about spending Thanksgiving with Russell, everybody knew you was kind of gunning for his mama and gunning for his wife, and niggas wasn't having it. Real men, gay, straight, whatever you are, binary, bipolar, whatever, real men outside of your sexual preference, they not really comfortable with other men picking on women. So the men came to the forefront. They spoke out, and as a result, we got a half-ass apology. But guess what? We'll take it. We'll take it. Because what we need, the message that the men were sending is, listen, the wife and the mama are off limits. You trying to test that man to see what he's made of, to figure out how far you can go with his wife and his mama. You didn't say his daddy wasn't there. You didn't say his brother wasn't there. You didn't say his cousin wasn't there or his uncle wasn't there. Everybody that caught a stray from you, my nigga, was a woman. So you're trying to test the temperature of how far can you go on another man's territory as it relates to victimizing the women in his family. Are y'all following me? Are we going to have Sunday dinner or what? Because you said his sister wasn't there, his mama wasn't there. Oh, you really trying it. And the other man came out and was like, hold on. Ain't my business, but what you looking for, a moment? Because why you speaking on that man and his family like that? And that's how you can tell the real from the fake. See, there's a lot of men that don't like women, but they don't come out and say they don't like women. They test the temperature. They get out here and see, how far can I go? Let me talk about how weird Thanksgiving was with you because your wife was there, her daddy was there, your mama wasn't there, your sister wasn't there. And if you listen closely, bro, it seemed like you take up a lot of issue with men. You ain't said shit about Russell, man to man. You going after the women in the house. You going after the women in the house. That's an easy win. That's an easy win. A woman can't do shit with a man. I tell women that all the time. You can't do nothing with a man. I don't give a damn if he's just as feminine as you. Give him to another man. Men handle things different. Let him talk that shit to him. And don't even tell him you're going to give him to another man. Just put another man on him. Don't say nothing else. And the other men came out and they pressured him. They didn't say nothing incriminating. They just let him know you out of line. See, men love to belong. Men don't like to roam this earth by themselves. That's why you see a lot of them cheating. They don't know what to do, some of them, when they're insecure. You know, when men are insecure, they need a lot of attention, a lot of affection, a lot of notoriety, a lot of shucking and jiving. Insecure ones that, I got to go to your house for Thanksgiving, even though I got all these kids, even though Trayvon has all these kids, multiple children by multiple women. He say he got a big ass family, but he not with them because you feel, why are you not with them? Because you tired and you bored and you need to get your rocks off and you're dying to get in Russell's house to get a look at Sierra. Yeah, that's why you really went. You abandoned your own family to get a look at another man's wife. Let's just talk about it. Ain't nobody really talked about that. Because you talked about how big your family is, what y'all do, and how you are a Southern guy, and what the Thanksgiving protocol is, and how if you fail to adhere to the policies and procedures of your family, you would be made fun of, you would be talked about like a dog, but yet here you are at Russell Wilson's home because you just gotta see it. Let me see it. You wanted to see her. Let's talk about it. When a nigga come in your house, I don't care if it's a situation like this, a man come to your territory, invited or uninvited, and his critique when you've been kind or you haven't made any problems, his critique is to go after the women. He's a hater. He's a hater. He's insecure. And that's what Trayvon Boykins proved to be. You said, Queen, I think the family abandoned him because he's grade A jackass and the money he had only heightened that. Yeah, you wanted Sierra. You were looking at Sierra, but you thought she was weak because she don't really say too much in public. And then you saw how she ran that house, and that made you feel insecure as a man. You saw that Russell gave her free reign to roam about the cabin. She had nannies. She had a chef, and that shit really rubbed you the wrong way because you out here knocking bitches' jaws off their bone. You're a skull crusher. You make bitches cook, even though you got millions of dollars. And you didn't experience that in Russell Wilson's house. So the only thing you could do with that is attack it. Because that's what you do with beautiful women like that. You attack them. You got to bring them down to a different level, only for you to embarrass yourself. You embarrass yourself. You made an ass out of yourself. And let me tell you something. The only reason I feel like he came out and apologized is because he didn't want other men to view him as a hater. See, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'ma shoot you. You know the song, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'ma shoot you. So when niggas start to not trust you, you can't come around. You gonna get caught off every which way. He know he violated. He know he violated. Women and children are off limits. A lot of men don't know that, but the men do. The real men do. Women and children, bro, what did they do to you? Don't matter who you are, what your sexual preferences. Why you talking to that lady like that? See, in some places, you'll get your ass handed to you. And I think that's why people do it from the privacy of a podcast. But you don't see a lot of them stepping outside talking that. You see where Trayvon was. In a protected space when he spoke on that girl child and talked about how bad that little boy was. That ain't none of your damn business. You done violated. And you know that around real men, you about to be violated, period. So you going to have to make it right. Even if it's half-assed, you going to have to make it right. And that's what real men do. They put other men in line without putting them in line, so that if you going to even get close to this circle, you got to show yourself approved. And the first step is to humble thyself and get out there and apologize. He knew what time it was. But let me tell you why he apologized. He didn't apologize because he felt like he wronged Russell. He apologized so that other men wouldn't come after him. He apologized so that doors would not be closed in his face. He apologized so that other men would not become suspicious of him and ostracize him and alienate him. That's it. That's all. Because that's a very dangerous game when you need to eat. And when you have that many kids and you need to put food on your table, because if that's what we doing, my nigga, and we violating people and their families, then I'm going to violate you financially. I'm going to make sure I pick up the phone and make a few phone calls so that you never work again. And you will be reduced to simple podcasts where you are a guest and not the facilitator of the conversation. You better hope that they hand you $500 by the time I'm through with you. And even if you see $500, it'll be one in a million every now and then. So that's why he came out to apologize, because he understood what was on the table and what he stood to lose in the long run. It ain't got nothing to do with Russell Wilson if we're talking about the psychology of it all. I just wanted to break it down for y'all. He was forced to. Nobody told him to. He was forced to. He understand the rule. See, there is code amongst real men. Code. It don't matter if they gay. My best friend is gay. I've never heard him shit on another woman, ever. And I've been friends with him for almost 30 years. Never. He may say, ooh, child, and start laughing. And that's about as far as I'd be like, what? He'd be like, what? I'd be like, what? What you say? You know, what? He's my girl. I'm still a boy. I'm not going to go there with her because I'm a man. So real men understand that there's a code that you honor when it comes to women and children. And he broke it. He broke it. And how long did it take him? Thanksgiving was, it took him about, Thanksgiving was the 20th. So it took him about almost 2 weeks. We're right at 2 weeks. But let me tell you something. He tried it. And the reason why it took him 2 weeks, because he was trying to see if he would have got away with it, there would not have been an apology. Watch people that try you. Watch people that come in like that after you've been good. And then he did that and then had nobody else said anything. Because if you give a nigga an inch, he will take a yard. And he tried to take a yard. Let's listen to what he had to say.
We gotta address the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? That was a video that obviously went viral. Me sharing my experience with what I had at a teammate's crib. But with that being said, I just would have to let y'all know, like, hey, look, I'm a kid from Dallas, Texas, right?
You're not a kid. You're a grown-ass man. And when you came out to shit on him and his wife and his family, you said, I went to Russell Wilson's house. You see how people are loud in their insults? They gonna name you when they can't stand you. But when it's time to do right, you have no identity. To a teammate's house now. But it was Russell when you wanted to violate.
I come from a traditional household when it comes to family, right? When we came from, I came from and so when it come to Thanksgiving, the reason I said what I said is because when we had a little bit of nothing, we still came together as a family. That's the way that I was raised. That's the way that I always seen it. So when I seen something a little bit different, it was that to me. It was different. Now, I probably could have articulated it a lot better than what I did.
Has he been over here to the palace? Because didn't we line it up like that? Which you could have said it was different. It wasn't necessarily, didn't we say that? It wasn't necessarily what I would do, but it was different. But okay, let's go.
And I could have gave a little bit more context than what I did. But I do want to sit here, whether my co-host agrees or not, because I know first thing first, but we gotta address the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? I do want to. First thing first, but I do want to issue an apology, right? I feel like they didn't wake up and ask for that, Russ, Sierra, and especially Baby Future, right? This was a long time ago. I shared an experience that I had 10 years ago.
It's a lot of things they don't wake up to.
Right. It's a lot of stuff that, but I can only speak for me.
Okay.
Right. And so I can't issue that apology and say that I do apologize for, because they didn't necessarily deserve it. I could have told a story without name dropping, because I'm pretty sure like other people go tell their stories on podcasts.
Or you could have shut up.
And their experiences, and then you just speculate who it is, and you go from there. So, like I said, bro, I do want to issue that apology publicly. I don't think that you can publicly say something and then go privately apologize. You know what I'm saying? So, I would love to just start off there and saying like, hey, look, I do apologize, especially to baby Future, because if it's one person it's the Future fans. You know?
So he just told you a couple of things, and we're going to continue. So this is his co-host. Very good looking man. Okay, who is that? Who that is? My baby daddy. That's just my baby daddy. Who that is? My baby daddy. Hey, that's just my baby daddy. Okay, 10 years ago. You got to be kidding me. Has Russell been with Sierra 10 years? Have they even been married 10 years? Can somebody Google that? Because I want to make sure that he's telling the truth. That's the first thing. The second thing is he's mentioning that he's I told you it wasn't about Russell. He said, well, the Future fans didn't like it. Okay. And then I think the third thing is that co-host, whoever this guy is, he stands to lose a lot by working with a big mouth, somebody that's reckless, somebody that you don't have to attack everybody. You know what I mean? You don't have to say everything that you're thinking. Because if you really are working towards something, I don't care how much you love somebody, you'd be like, hey. Because you got a lot to lose. So I think this guy had a lot to lose by working with him. And this guy don't want the other NFL players to feel like he condones that type of behavior. So he's lying. Thank you. You said 8 years. Married 9? Okay, 9. So they're newlyweds. Let's just say if it was true. They're newlyweds. So I don't think it was 9 years because why would they need 2 nannies for 1 kid? But whatever. The point I'm trying to make is they did nothing to you. They simply opened up the doors of their home. They invited you in. And I'm going to assume they were probably newlyweds. Why would you come in attacking newlyweds? This is like the critical phases of marriages where you're trying to learn your routine, establish new traditions, get a feel for each other. They're learning each other. They're creating, and you're criticizing. And no wonder why marriages between Black people end abruptly and we're not successful, because a lot of your villages around you have committed to destroying you and criticizing you or talking about your wife and your mama or your husband. And before you can even start and get the marriage ready for takeoff, it's already over because of people like this. And this is a proud person that says, I come from a traditional family. So that would be a lot of pressure if Russell Wilson was a weak man. That would be a lot of pressure if this type of rhetoric were coming from a woman talking to her home girl. You know what I mean? And you wonder why Black love and Black marriages are so rare, because Black people tear them down. Black people love talking about other people's husbands and you ain't even got one, like Stacy said. You ain't even got one. You don't even have one. Talking about you come from traditional. Traditional my ass, because why do you have those children with no spouse? Tradition, you would be home with your children, but okay, let's go.
I do want to issue an apology, right? I feel like they didn't wake up and ask for that, Russ. Sierra. So especially first thing first, bro, we gotta so like I said, bro, like, look, man, we're gonna sit on there, and this is a learning experience for a lot of us, bro. We've been doing this podcast, 9 episodes, and we learned.
That's new. You too new to be making those kind of mistakes in the podcast. 9 episodes is nothing. 9 episodes is nothing. And you coming out the gates like that, y'all, 9 episodes, you hit that. That's like your first 2 or 3 weeks with a podcast. So listen, podcast guy, his co-host, get rid of him. Get rid of him. You haven't been working with him long enough to keep him. Get rid of him. Now is the perfect time to be like, bro, it ain't a good fit. It's just like, you know, the way you came out, it's just, it was too controversial. You can get rid of him. If you're going to get rid of him, you need to do it now.
Learning a lot. We going through a lot, and it's gonna be ups, it's gonna be downs. We gonna sit over here and we gonna have viral moments. We're gonna have moments that might not go viral.
Nah, I would be like, we ain't having them kind of moments because I'm not moving forward with you.
First thing first, bro. We gonna so like I said, bro. Like, look, man, we gonna sit on it, and this is a learning experience for a lot of us, bro. We've been doing this podcast what 9
And it don't have to be a learning experience. And that's the problem with a lot of y'all. Y'all learn too hard. Y'all let people come in y'all life and rehearse on you and practice on you as a professional, rehearse and practice on your platforms, rehearse and practice on your heart, rehearse and practice on your time, on your family, on your kids. Baby, this ain't no learning experience. I thought you was ready. Because when I interviewed you, I thought you were capable. I thought you knew and understood how to do this. This ain't no freaking learning experience because let me tell you something. Learning can be a very expensive lesson. And in the world of product development, we don't want expensive lessons. We call it quick and dirty. I want something quick and dirty. Quick and dirty means I've worked on it long enough, but quick enough that it's dirty. I've gotten in the mud, but it's not going to cost that much. Quick and dirty. That's a corporate term like, all right, I need it quick and dirty. You've worked on it. You stayed up all night. It has your fingerprints. You've been in the mud with it, but I ain't trying to pay that much because we're still learning. Right? Let's roll it out and then bring it back in to see. Thank you. You said he's on probation. Drop him quickly. Yeah, you can drop him. You're only 9 episodes in. People won't even remember him if you replace him with the right person. Actually, get you a woman. Get you a woman. That will be dynamic and fire. That's it. That's all. That was his lame ass apology. But
episodes.
It really
and
wasn't.
We learning a lot. We going through a lot, and it's gonna be ups. It's gonna be downs.
Okay.
We gonna sit over here and we gonna have viral moments. We're gonna have.
Kind of really wasn't because he said, "Well, the future people." So it really ain't about Russell and honoring Russell. And it's crazy because you didn't put a name on it. I need you to put a name on it. Because you put a name on it when you disrespected him. You said, man, I went to Russell Wilson's house with him and Sierra. You named everybody. But when it came time to be a man and apologize, you couldn't remember nobody's name. You couldn't remember anybody's name. But I just wanted to update y'all real quick off of that. And then we're going to get into it with Shannon Sharpe and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Are y'all ready? Let me see what y'all are saying in the comments. And we're just going to breeze right on through. Let me ask you something. Now, do you see why people are reluctant in their own communities to be having people and folks in their house? Do y'all invite new people in your house? Or are you done with that? You live, you've learned, and you be like, hell no, don't be bringing nobody to my house. Well, God bless them. I'm sorry they don't have nowhere to go for Christmas. I'm sorry they don't have nowhere to go for Thanksgiving, but the world is a crazy place. Or do y'all still open up your home to strangers? And what I mean by strangers is somebody that's never been there before. Not a stranger is not that you don't know them, but they just never been to your home. You said the sponsors probably made him apologize. I don't think they have. Okay, let me show you this. So, Deborah, I would agree with you, but let's check out this podcast. Let's look at the background of what's happening here. Give me 1 second. And I'm not trying to be funny, but it's not giving sponsor yet. It's not giving sponsor yet. It just don't have that sponsor feel if you look at the background. What y'all think? I could be wrong. It just don't give Coors Light, Budweiser is sponsoring this. It's not giving. Yeah. I mean, I could, shit, who am I? Let me go to the other one and see. Yeah, it's not giving sponsor. Yeah, it's giving. We kind of threw some shit up, a few posters. You got your old jersey? Yep, I got mine. Well, shit, put that on the wall. I ain't got no nails. That's all right. I got a few thumbtacks over here. That's what it's giving. I don't think they're there yet because they're only 9 episodes in. And a lot of times they want to be able to see that you can produce a viewership, engagement, and utilization. Thank you, Lala. She said, nope, it's giving budget. Okay. And budget is okay, which is why you don't go into a multi-million-dollar house, a multi-millionaire's house, because both he and Sierra are millionaires and talk shit. when you are the peasant at the table. Hey, listen, did I lie? When you are the peasant at the table. And that's the crazy part. All that shit talking he did about Russell Wilson, the chef and the nannies, their worth is more than yours. Sierra makes more money than you. Russell makes more money than you. The chefs have a craft. They will always be employed by celebrities and football players. You're out of the league. The nannies will always be employed by rich men and women. Y'all get what I'm saying? Everybody's stock is higher than yours, even when you view them as the lowest on the totem pole. You were the peasant at the table. You were the odd man out. You were the pauper. You were the people that the king summoned to feed his leftovers. That's it. That's all. I mean, that's why sometimes these male podcasts, I'm like, get you a girl on there. Get you a woman that can read his ass down. Money is king. He got to learn life. Talent is, right? Because you don't have. Russell took you home because you are a have-not. Yeah, I have his mother's response. We went over it yesterday, Lala, but I'll go back over it right now. So Russell Williams, I'm sorry, I've been calling that man Russell Williams for weeks. Hold on. Russell Wilson's mom, and I read it yesterday. She came out. She says, because he tried to say Russell Wilson's mom was not there. Let me do it. I got to play the part that sparked all of this controversy. If you can just give me 1 second. Here's what got it started. This part right here.
Even though we couldn't get
2 nannies. So Wilson, I went to his house for Thanksgiving. The weirdest feel like he catered. So no, you know, like, bro, I come from a traditional country black family.
We doing that.
If I got as much money as Russell Wilson, my whole family would talk about me so bad if I ain't fly everybody out there for Thanksgiving. And I'm sponsored by an airline.
Yeah. Maybe he's not close to his family.
And maybe he not. But his mama wasn't there. Sisters wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
So he, first of all, he pocket watching, jealous. Y'all got to be careful, man. Men be up against some dangers when it comes to other men. You pocket watching. And if you notice, every problem that he had was with the women that did nothing to him. He's just mad. He's mad at Russell's mom because she was the one that gave birth to a successful football quarterback player. He's mad at Sierra because she's the one that's the wife. He talking about the nannies because they're the ones that are taking care of the kids. And then he talks about Sierra's child future. His qualm was with the women. Then he says Russell's sister wasn't there. So you got to listen really, really carefully to really get to know people. You up in this man's house hating every woman, taking up issue with all of the women that he has chosen to love because you don't feel like they're worthy. Because that's the only reason you spoke on it. Your issue was that he catered Thanksgiving. He didn't take his money to fly everybody else in. He allowed his wife to have 2 nannies and a chef. Oh, you real jealous. You real mad.
Even 3 dogs. Still works. Baby Future, even at that time, bad as hell. It still works me on Thanksgiving.
Hey,
my family gonna do the food.
If
you don't want with the money, we coming to y'all.
Why is he sharing that information anyway?
Cause.
And then he goes on and he talks about the dog.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
Well, how the dog catch a stray? How the dog was like, damn, this nigga done messed us up for Thanksgiving, Rover. You think so? Yeah. Daddy Russell, we may not get no more scraps. I mean, depending on how far he goes with this, if he tells that we had a plate and ate off the plate, I mean, it's over. Black people don't typically allow their dogs to eat off the plate. Man, I'll be tuned in, Rover. I don't think he's gonna, I don't know, brother. You know what I mean? A dog is holding his breath, tail tucked between his legs, hoping that he don't say nothing else about
what the dog doing. What the dog doing?
Dog, like, I hope that nigga don't bring up that we got the turkey leg and Russ and Sierra don't eat dark meat. I hope that nigga don't say that. Because, man, if he say that shit, Russ is going to be more cognizant. He's going to be more self-conscious about what he gives us. Man, if that nigga mess up turkey leg day, I'm going to be mad. Well, what are you going to? I'll bite his ass the next time he comes here. I'm telling you, man, I'm going to get a good piece of him. Well, I don't think he's coming back. Well, if he does, I remember his smell. I remember exactly what he smells like. I can smell him a mile away. Shit, dog be like, get your ass out of here. Didn't nobody ask you to say nothing. You finna mess it up for everybody. Let Russell be generous. You nigga, you finna get us on Alpo. You might be right, MJ. MJ said, I bet he went through them bathroom drawers. You might be right. We finna get put on Alpo because of him. Hey, Dr. Higgs. This man finna mess it up for everybody. So that was that. He came out and apologized after Russell Wilson's, I got to quit calling him that. After Russell Wilson's mom got on his ass. But not only that, after Ocho and Shannon Sharpe said something. Let me tell you why I really think he apologized. Because Shannon Sharpe, Shannon has done some effed up stuff, and had to pay out $25 million to Gabrielle Zuniga. But at the same time, Shannon is adjacent to the media outlets, and Shannon was about to sign a $100 million contract, $50 million. Was it 100 or 50? Whatever. It was a $100 million contract because I remember Tony Busby asked for half of that, which was 50. With this media, what was the name of the media corporation where they were going to embed his entire body of work and put it on one network? So somebody must have set his black ass down and said, hey, you need to hold on, wait a minute. We only 9 episodes in. You not who you think you is, because the whole goal of a podcast is to be picked out by major media outlets. And you out here running your motherfucking mouth, excuse my language, about a man who could get us put on. I mean, about a man who's critiquing your podcast rhetoric. It's bad, bro. When Shannon Sharpe says, see, that's why I don't fool with nobody. Because we need Shannon. That's what I believe his co-host told him. We need Shannon to pick us up. And if you out here talking niggas business, niggas will be reluctant to sign you on a contract for a network. Why? Why, Queen Sheba? Why? Because a lot of shit go on when men are away from home. And if you snitch like that, I know damn well you a snitch if we bringing bitches up here and we ball until we falling. Ain't nobody gonna trust you, bro. Ain't nobody gonna trust you. Thank you, Desiree. You said, Queen, you said he will pay out within 90 days. Boom. And there we have it. So that's why he apologized. He recognized not only did he offend Russell, but he offended other men that may have. See, Russell's a clean guy, but there's other men that have perfect fake aids where they do Thanksgiving and then they do Thanksgiving. And if they feel like you're going to be talking too much, they be like, nah, bro, he talked too much. Shannon was really bothered by him talking. Let's take a look.
Like
me and my brother had money.
Traditional country.
Guess what made him walk?
Shannon Sharpe, because you know Shannon.
First thing first, bro, we gotta address the elephant in the room. So Wilson, I went to his house, 2 nannies, and 3 dogs. And Baby Future at that time was bad as hell.
Hey, Unc, I got a question.
I hope I got an answer for you too.
Why is he sharing the information anyway?
Cause, see, that's what. Not chat. Now you see why I don't have a whole lot of mofos at my house. See, he worried about somebody else's family. Yo, black there. He invited you.
So when you get the Ocho Cincos and the Shannon Sharpes that got a little something going on, that be taking flights and trips and leaving the wives at home or leaving the baby mamas at home, nigga, you remember 3 dogs, 2 nannies? And everybody that was in the room, oh, you old snitch type ass. Hell no. Don't give him no deal. This nigga done memorized where everybody was standing in the house, what the nanny had on. It was two up. He calculated that whole house. Men don't trust you. And when men don't trust you, they don't want to do deals with you. And when men don't want to do deals with you, you don't really have a lot of income or the potential income coming in. So that's why he took his ass to the public to apologize. Russell, it ain't because he honors you. Russell, it ain't because he has respect for you. He could give a damn about you. That's why he told all your damn business. He's trying to stay in good graces with the other ones that he feels like he may need in the future. That's it. That's all. Starting with Shannon Sharpe, the Ocho Cincos, his homeboy that he co-hosts the podcast with. You see what I'm saying? And the only reason why I feel like a lot of men are telling him shut up is not because they really honor family like that, but people be having secrets. But you know what? We'll get it how we get it, right, ladies? Listen, we got to start somewhere. That's it. That's all. So then we're going to transition to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She recently sat down.
He looked at you like family. And
look at Shannon.
got diarrhea of the mouth. You think you telling something. Man, I went to Russell House, that mansion, it was weird. Yeah, because he had an outsider in there. That was the weird part about it. That's why you don't let people come in your house, chat.
And that's it. That's all. And I think when Shannon said, that's it. That's why you lock it up. Don't let these outsiders come in. No new friends, no new friends. I don't care. No new bloggers, no new nothing, no new coworkers. Don't go to lunch with them. They tell too goddamn much. They talk too goddamn much. And if they feel like they got to throw you under the bus just to be able to be put on, no new ones. And that's all. That's why he apologized. Shannon is a fool, but he's funny. He be making me laugh. You know what I mean? You take what you need and you discard the rest. So they don't like that. He made the other men uncomfortable. He's a rat, period. You talk too damn much. Let's go. Now let's get into the take where Dr. Cheyenne Bryant recently sat down with Shannon Sharpe. And I kind of feel like this is her second time, but then I was like, no, it's not. It feels like her second time seated with Shannon Sharpe because I confused it with her first breakout with Nick Cannon. Then she sat with Cam Newton. Now she's seated with Shannon Sharpe. And here's the thing. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, a lot of people are saying she did a really good job in this interview. We're going to take a look at it. I purposely held back because I want to see some clips with you all. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be honest, because that's what we do over here. And welcome to all of the men that are here. We appreciate y'all, and we just talk straight up. We just ladies. Play like y'all in the beauty shop, and we're in the barber shop, and we just going to talk our shit, right? If I have to be honest, let me put this up here. The only reason why Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is getting this amount of airtime and airplay is because she's a beautiful, attractive woman. She's a beautiful, attractive, light-skinned woman. Because let's start there. That's my opinion, right? When these men are seated in front of her, they're not saying yes because they're interested in her philosophy on life or her psychology of life. She's a beautiful woman. Period. Men love a challenge. She's beautiful. She's sassy. She's fiery. And then she's psychology. Put her in front of me. They're not asking for a Iyanla Vanzant. At all. We've seen Iyanla Vanzant go in and do... You say she's a baddie. Listen, she's a beautiful, striking. I feel like this was one of her best looks in this interview. And I'm about to show y'all. Beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. But Cheyenne, let me tell you something as a woman. Because we both have the same background. We're both somewhat cut from the same cloth. You have a PhD, one step above me because you like working with individuals in an individual setting to help them move past their behaviors. As a woman, as a beautiful woman, I would like to challenge you to keep in mind that your notoriety, a lot of these men are saying yes, not because they're interested in what's coming out of your mouth. They are enthralled by your majestic aesthetics. If you haven't already, figure out your roadmap as you begin to age and as you begin to get tired of playing the game. Because in a lot of instances, you do have to play the game as a woman who's beautiful. You have to walk a very fine line. There's a lot of time. Thank you, pretty privilege. Boom. Because they're not going to sit in front of particular women that are just as PhD'd, just as experienced, because they don't have to look. It's just not what they're interested in. So I just want you to recognize your advantage. I don't think, look, get it how you get it. Ain't nobody mad at you. But as you're, when the lights go off and everybody goes home, as a woman, I want to challenge you to create a very solid roadmap for yourself so that when the beauty fades and the looks are no longer there, I really want you to have something solid as a woman. They don't give a damn. Half of them want to sleep with you. Okay. And I'm not saying that that dequalifies her, but if she recognizes the game, I hope she's able to pivot a year or two from now, because she really has to do a lot of catering to these men. Because let me tell you what you'll never hear a therapist say. If you understand psychology, they don't use affection words like, I'm speaking to you in love. No, ma'am, ever, to a patient. Have your therapist ever say, you may hear a minister say that, but not a therapist. So you're going to have to figure out a way to come out of that, because you're still coddling them, which tells me you're still somewhat stuck in the cocoon where you can't really get in there and do your thing and cook like you need to, because you have to keep in mind that you're dealing with fragile men. But you got to make sure you adhere and uphold the standards of the AB, of the psychology. You know what I mean? You know, that's all I'm saying. So you got to stop coddling, because you do a lot of coddling, but you want them to respect you at the same time. But I understand the strategy, but I don't know if it's something that you can continue to do long term. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get into it. What are y'all's thoughts? Do you feel like she did a good job? Did you see the interview? And do you feel like, as a woman in the therapeutic world, that she has to soften her blow when she's holding a man accountable by saying, I'm coming in love, because I'm saying this from a place of love. From, you don't know him, you don't love him. Don't ever play those games in psychology. You get in that motherfucker, you sit in that chair, you own your craft, and you remain professional. Don't use words like love and like, because if you sit in front of the right crazy motherfucker, he may believe you that you love him. So that's the only thing I would probably say to you. You got to watch your language when you're dealing with particular patients. Let me see. Lady Rita says, excuse me, Queen, but you don't think... Oh, she knows she's attractive. Absolutely. But but my thing was, figure out your roadmap strategy so you're not having to coddle and speak in a way where you are familiar with them. As a psychologist and counselor, therapist, you can't familiarize yourself with them. You can be friendly, but you can't use in terms of endearment, my dear, like she knows. Anybody over here, y'all, like you just can't. It confuses when people are coming from hurt and wounded places, you can't confuse them. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get too deep. The side-eye Sage 7 says, I agree that it's not a sustainable strategy. I do like her, though, and I understand why she handles them with the kid glove. You can't, though. See, either you're going to be a woman or you're going to be a psychologist. You cannot at all. Because a man therapist can't tell a woman client, I hear you, sweetie. And listen to me, side-eye Sage. I'm talking to you with love. It confuses the relationship. That's all I'm saying. You said, I think she's peep game intellectually. She's running circles around them. Yes. But I want to make sure she protects her license. You get what I'm saying? All right, here we go. We're about to take a look at the clips. Boom. Looks like we are here.
I haven't had the best luck with women.
Why?
But I haven't been the best for them.
That's okay. Talk about the luck. What is the narrative around you haven't had the best luck with women?
Because I've never given them all of me like I have a job. I only gave them what they couldn't hurt.
There you go. This is good. What is it that they could hurt? What's that?
Me.
What part of you
My heart.
that was hurt when? When was the first heartbreak you can even think of?
Ooh-wee. I don't even.
Who was it by?
I'm not even sure, Doc. Because
Was it by dad? Where's dad?
my dad died when I was 13.
Was he with mom?
No.
What kind of guy was he?
I only saw my dad once to really know who I was looking at.
There you go. There you go. So that abandonment, that abandonment wound. What is your narrative about your father? What kind of guy was he to only have seen him once?
Well, when he and my mom divorced, my grandfather, growing up how we grow up, get divorced, the kids are going with the maternal grandparents. And that's what we did. We came down to South Georgia.
But let me word it different then. What kind of father would you have to be to only see your child once in 13 years?
I think he was embarrassed.
About what?
Not being what he wanted what he thought he should have been. Not being there. My dad had some drinking issues, and he didn't think he was the father that he should have been. And I remember my grandmother, Grandma Charlie, his mom, told us that he wanted to come home. But at that point in time, he had both jawbones removed because of cancer. And he didn't want, Grandma Charlie, he called her Charlie. He said, Charlie, I don't want the kids to see me like this. And she said, Pete, they're going to love you regardless. They just want to see their dad. And he said, you know what? He said, you know what, Charlie, I'm going to come home in September.
Yeah.
Well, he died in August. And so, yeah, I would have loved, because when I played college ball and I played in the NFL and I saw guys have their dad in the locker room or standing on the sideline, I used to think, man, it'd be so cool to have my dad here and to be a part of this. But it didn't happen. But my grandfather died when I was 8, and that's who raised my grandmother and my grandfather. But Granny poured every ounce into me. But there are some things I think that I did miss because I didn't have. My brother was like my father. He was really the dominant male figure that was in my life.
And I'm gonna say something, okay? And I totally wrap it in love, okay? Because it's gonna probably sound a little pokey, but.
And that's why she said, I'm going to totally wrap it in love. So what you want to do in psychology, you say, do you mind if I ask you a question? I would like to share something with you. Are you okay with that? And I get it, because sometimes we curtail it based on our crowd, and we're Black and I'm Black and you're Black, but never become familiar, even when we're the same skin tone and the same culture. You always want to keep the same best practices, and therefore you're streamlined no matter who's in front of you, whether it's a millionaire or a 16-year-old kid. Because if you were talking to a 16-year-old boy, you would say, can I ask you a question? And then he would say yes or no. And you have to keep that. I just don't want her to fall. I really want her. She's doing a great job. I think this is a beautiful conversation, but I don't ever want her to get too comfortable around them. That's all I'm saying.
The same selfishness you just described your father has, you have it. You have it. And the pain that his selfishness and his pride and his ego implemented in you is the same pain that you're implementing in everyone you come in contact with, including your girls and their mothers. What your father taught you was nobody, not even y'all, were good enough for him to come around or stay around. And nothing has been good enough for you to stay around. Not even your kids, because you obviously are not or were not with their mothers.
Right.
And it doesn't make you a bad man. It just makes you a man that needs to be aware of your makeup and how you're built, because you can't change that. When we talked about it earlier, you can manage that once you realize, damn, I'm him too. So until you realize that ego, that pride that he has taught you, and it's obviously in your DNA as well, and that selfishness is what will always be a barrier between you and your heart, not you and a woman, it's you and your heart, then you will always overcompensate and work. And you're going to do damn good over here. But it's going to come a time, if it hasn't already, that what you're overcompensating for, which is the heart space, starts to consume you. And you're going to need that to even balance you over here. Because we can only do something out of moderation for so long,
Right.
before the moderation says, yo, what's up? Especially the matters of the heart. And with you, it's what I said earlier, right? Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And when a little boy becomes deferred from hope at a young age with his father, and they take on the father role like you did and go and get it and put the family on the mat and take everybody out of poverty, he usually never returns to find himself.
I haven't had the best luck with women.
Why?
But I have.
Okay, first of all, I thought this was a dynamic exchange, this particular exchange, right? And we're gonna probably look at one or two more. Dynamic for two reasons. I really enjoyed Shannon just being himself. Typically, we see Shannon on the other side of the coin where he's the facilitator of the conversation. He's asking the questions. He's putting on, he's shucking and jiving. But I really enjoyed Shannon Sharpe talking and just talking like he was just, like he said, at his grandmother's house, and just talking and referring and just being a normal guy. Shannon Sharpe is a very likable man. I can see how he could be offered $100 million deal. Outside of him, I know a lot of people are not, oh, he don't like black women. Don't nobody care about that, though, in business. You know, don't nobody care about that emotional argument and power to the people and none of that. He's likable. I liked him. I appreciate his willingness to be open, even if it was just a little bit. Because, see, if you put a Cam Newton in that seat or a Nick Cannon in that seat, they weren't grown enough. They hadn't matured enough to just say who hurt them, right? They duck and dodge the questions. It was so freaking refreshing just to hear him talk and be real as a man. And I'm going to tell you, I did not judge him at all. Period. That was the first dynamic. I was like, this is so refreshing. I would like to hear him talk more about himself. I'm very curious about him. It made me want to learn more. That's the first thing. The second thing is I was looking at her and I'm listening to her, and she did her damn thing. She did her thing. She got the point. She got in there and she basically said, you're selfish. Let's talk about it. You are a very selfish man. And she did it with love. Now, here's the thing about therapy, because I know a lot of people say, well, she had to handle it soft, but there's still rules and guidelines that we have to adhere to. You can't personalize and start to get close or make it feel touching and loving. It's a violation of the ethics codes, right? And I just want her to fix that small bit. But I like how she got to the heart of the matter. Listen, your dad taught you to be selfish. Your dad prioritized himself. And I hope this really helps somebody. Your dad prioritized himself so much to the point that even his kids, he knew he had kids. He knew he had a responsibility, but he always put himself first. And because he was so invested in himself and he was so selfish about himself, nothing about y'all could even get him to come down a little bit. He didn't care. And he died that way. And then she looked at Shannon and said, you the same way. And then it hit home for me because I started thinking about, you paid this little white girl $25 million. And people say you didn't want to put $20,000 on your daughter's wedding. You made your daughter crawl and claw for $20K. And then the white girl walks away. And this is no tea, no shade, right? Because you had a fantasy about a young white girl. She give you what you want. Your selfishness, your inability, if we really get into it, cost you $25 million. And I don't feel like the girl tried to set him up. I know y'all, she tried to set him up. No, she didn't. She said all she wanted him to do was to put on a condom. If you really want to, and he didn't even want to do it. And she said, you just like your daddy. And you fooled yourself into thinking that you are a decent man because of the outcome of your work. And you can see in real time what your earning potential is. But at the end of the day, that's all you have. And eventually you're going to get to a point in life that you're going to have to balance it out. that gaping hole in your soul, that disconnect that you have from women. That man said he ain't never connected with a woman. How can you have sex with a woman and ejaculate in a woman and produce a kids and not be connected like this? Like this. And I tell you, niggas do it every day. The man said, I've never felt anything for a woman. Women, wake up. Just listen and pay attention. And yes, I can have kids. And yes, I can be your baby daddy. And yes, I can do all of that. But I ain't never gave no woman a deep part of me. Why? You know why? And let's listen. Now we going to break it down. So a lot of women be confused. You don't be listening to these men when they talk. Shut up sometimes and listen. So you can understand what you're dealing with. I ain't going to say you should leave. Because some women say, I can deal with that. Because you ain't going to never get a perfect man. Right, Queen Sheba? I can deal with that. You give me a Shannon Sharpe. He's kind of broken and bruised. I can live with that. I don't need all of his heart. As long as the man is showing up, putting food on the table, doing the best he can, want a little kinky sex every now and then, I can deal with that, knowing that I'll never, ever penetrate the depths of his soul. The intimacy that I long for as a woman, that's non-existent. But if I can accept that and be okay with, I can deal with that. Some women can. Here we go. Now we're going to break it down.
I haven't had the best luck with women.
Why?
But I haven't been the best for them.
That's okay. Talk about the.
See, but I would have paused there. Because in that moment, he gave truth. Although I don't have a good track record with women, I'm the cause of that. I ain't been no good guy. That's on me.
The luck. What is the narrative around you haven't had the best luck with women?
Because I've never given them all of me like I have a job.
Never. That man said, I've never. So I don't care who you are, where you are. If you fooled around with Shannon Sharpe, he said never. That means it doesn't matter. Try not to label him. It doesn't matter how good he's made you feel, how good you felt like you were in a relationship. He said, you never had me. Period. I'm not going to say he don't respect him, la. Right? Let's listen. Hold on. I'm going to open up the lines in a minute. I'm not going to say he don't respect them. Let's start all over. Let's truly listen to him without judging. Let's listen to him with our whole hearts. Let's go.
I haven't had the best luck with women.
Let's pause. I haven't had the best luck. Now.
Why?
But I haven't been the best for them.
That's okay.
That's his truth. I haven't been the best, and I haven't had the best because I'm not the best.
Okay, talk about the luck. What is the narrative around you haven't had the best luck with women?
Because I've never given them all of me like I have a job. I only gave them what they couldn't hurt.
Well, and here's the thing. He don't like women. He hate women. Well, then he must be getting with women. Because if we going to talk it now, y'all keep presenting. I don't like how y'all present us as women as if we're disabled. And we riding around in this emotional wheelchair. And the only people in the world that are responsible for us, pushing us around and getting us through day to day is a fucking man. I refuse to adopt that ideology. We are not disabled because we were born with a vagina. We are not incapable because we were born with a vagina. So we got to be careful of how much power we give away when we're asking for equality for all. Because if he hasn't had the best luck for women, and if he's been able to get away with not giving himself to any woman, watch this, then he's dealing with women that don't like and love themselves. Or am I completely off my rocker? But there are women that are signing up for this. See, you can't show up half-assed with a complete woman. So there are women that are signing up for this because they are not up to par. And they will take the crumbs of a man. So if we're going to crucify him, we got to crucify them, because otherwise it's just the half side of an argument. Come on, Lala, come on to the front. That's all I'm saying. You being a woman does not make you disabled. See, when we go to that table in HR and we start to navigate and say, pay me like you pay these men, then you got to show up and hold yourself accountable. When you recognize a nigga is trying to run game on you, you got to be like, hold on, Shannon, love you. Yes, I want to sleep with you, but Shannon, you ain't gonna do me like you do the rest. Call me when you go to therapy, because otherwise I already know what I'm walking. They know what they walking into. Thank you. You said that's exactly why he's into transactional relationships. It requires nothing but money, and he can get his rocks off. They require nothing. The women require nothing but money, and they allow him to get his rocks off. See, he can't get his rocks off and pay you if you're not spreading it wide and laying it low. It takes two to tangle. And the last time we checked, that girl's complaint was she didn't have a problem doing the freaky deaky eeky. She was giving it to him. He had an older white woman before that, a redhead named Michelle. Michelle was busting it wide open, and she was married. Okay? Ran over her husband just to stay with Shannon. I'm just saying. Let me bring y'all up to speed. So he ain't out here stealing it. He just didn't want to put on a condom. So they lined up. They ready. They're open. They want to go all the way. The girl told him, my ass cheeks cost $25,000 per cheek. The women are initiating it. They writing up the invoices. You owe me $25 per cheek. Now, don't try that if you're 40 and over, because I don't know what your ass cheeks are going for. But I'm just saying that's what they doing at 21. At 21, the cheeks are going $25K per cheek. At 40, you might be able to get $1,500. You might be able to get $1,500 per cheek. That's it. Let's continue.
There you go. This is good. What is it that they could hurt? What's that?
Me.
What part of you?
My heart.
That was hurt when? When was the first heartbreak you can even think of?
I don't even.
Who was it by?
I wish she would have gave him time and space. That's what I mean. Just a little bit more. If you see in psychology, I only have a master's. I don't have a PhD. But what I learned in my training is you don't have to fill up space with words. If you can just allow them and you can hold space for them, they're going to figure it out. Because everything that they need to figure out, the answers, this is what I've been taught, the answers lie within them. They just need somebody to just stand by while they think through it. Yes, thank you, Dr. Hicks. There's some internal conflict. But if you pause long enough and just let people think, she threw him a lifeline. If she would have sat there, it may have been an awkward silence. She probably would have got more than what she got in that moment.
I'm not even sure, Doc. Because
Was it by dad? Where's dad?
my dad died.
I wish Dr. Bryant didn't tell him or lead him. What you're not sure of. If you were sure, what would it be? I wish, because you put dad in the head, but I wish, because we would have got so much more.
My dad died when I was 13.
Was he with mom?
No.
What kind of guy was he?
I only saw my dad once to really know who I was looking at.
There you go. There you go. So that abandonment.
No, let him talk. I want to hear it.
That abandonment wound. What is your narrative about your father? What kind of guy was he to only have seen him once?
Well, when he and my mom divorced, my grandfather, growing up how we grow up, get divorced, the kids are going with the maternal grandparents. And that's what we did. We came down to South Georgia.
But let me word it different then.
Yvette said, I wonder what made him want to open up. I think he felt safe. But Doctor, you got him now. He's open. You don't have to do nothing else. He's open like a can of oysters. You can pull off the gas. And that's the part where I feel like with her as a psychology professional, just pull back just a tiny bit and let that awkward silence sit. That's the problem. People are so distracted. They don't really have to sit with their thoughts and their actions and their behaviors. If you just wait just a second. No, they don't sit with regular people like me. But if you just wait just a second, you're going to get a lot out of him because he was thinking you got him on the right track. Hell, you got him there. You ain't got to do nothing else.
What kind of father would you have to be to only see your child once in 13 years?
I think he was embarrassed.
About what?
Not being what he wanted what he thought he should have been. Not being there. My dad had some drinking issues. And he didn't think he was the father that he should have been. And I remember my grandmother, Grandma Charlie, his mom, told us that he wanted to come home. But at that point in time, he had both jawbones removed because of cancer. And Grandma Charlie, he called her Charlie. He said, Charlie, I don't want the kids to see me like this. And she said, Pete, they're going to love you regardless. They just want to see their dad. And he said, you know what? He said, you know what, Charlie, I'm going to come home in September.
Yeah.
Well, he died in August. And so, yeah, I would have loved, because when I played college ball and I played in the NFL and I saw guys have their dad in the locker room or standing on the sideline, I used to think, man, it'd be so cool to have my dad here and to be a part of this.
So Shannon, essentially what he's saying is his dad died at 13, but he's only met his father one time. He's only met his dad one time. And you know what I like that he was able to do? And I think somebody said it, and I'm not going to even say daddy issues because I don't like putting negatives on the people. Because that sounds so negative. And the interview felt so positive. So I'm not going to adopt that term, but I will say this. I love how he hesitated to say anything negative about his father. He didn't, because if you really listen to athletes and rappers, they shit on their fathers. And I'm not saying that they should say anything positive. And that's what made me say, I feel like Shannon Sharpe got some decency in him, because this was his moment to blame, to say anything he could and wanted to. He's coming off the heels of one of the most controversial judgments, 25 million to a young girl. He could have, and if he would have been here, he didn't do none of that. And he didn't say anything that would be negative about his father. So it makes him likable to me. Likable. And I want to hear more from him. I love he and Ocho Cinco. But I would like to see him open up a little bit more with that. So let's go to one more clip and then we're out of here.
The first place you should be going when you visit this man is to his house, his casa.
Whoa.
All right. So they got into like this debate about the flued out culture, flying hoes out. Because women love to be flued out. Well, he flew me out. So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is saying, if a man flies you out, and that's your first time meeting him, he looks at you as a prostitute. He don't want nothing from you but casual sex, because a man this is her take, a man that's truly invested in you is you're going to probably go on a few dates. You may hang out at his home. But if a man is renting a place outside of his home just to be able to lay you down and have sex with you, he's disconnected. He has no future interest. Now, some people will beg to differ, because a lot of this culture is like, no, I went to Dubai. I got this, I got that. But she's saying that's horrible. You just been shifted into she didn't say it like this, but I'm a paraphrase. You just been shifted into the world of you just a jump off. You a prostitute. You a good time. Mr. Quantum Physics says, I was a student athlete as well. Everybody isn't deep. Athletics provided my education, but most athletes aren't trying to be PhD physicists, physicians, civil rights activists, or attorneys. Let me ask you this. Why not? Think about what you wrote. Don't even answer it right now. Just read what you wrote. I was a student athlete as well. Everyone isn't deep. Athletics provided my education. What's your education? But most athletes aren't trying to be PhD physicists, physicians, civil rights activists, or attorneys. And I think they're not, because no one expects that of you. They're giving you a ball and they're saying, run, go fetch. We don't look to you to be a physicist. We don't look to you to be a doctor. And because of that, I believe most of you have been conditioned to not even think big beyond the field. So is it that you really aren't trying to be, or you've conditioned to not even try to be? Mr. Quantum.
Ain't in his house. There's somebody else in his house.
Whoa.
Let me tell, first of all, I'm not doing nothing my first time flying.
Oh, okay.
Because that's casual sex.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, my bad.
No.
That was very presumptuous for me. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay. Take it back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this was,
If a man is not inviting you to his home, he is not thinking about making you his home. That's just what it is.
What do y'all think? Is she right? You dating a man, maybe he did take you out on 2 or 3 dates and you haven't gone to his home, and he said, listen, I'm going to be flying out to Hawaii next week. I would love to have you come. I'll book your flight. Pack your bags. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll see you on the island. Mwah. I'm asking, how many of you getting your ass on the plane? You know what? I'm going to drop the link. I don't want to hear nothing. Are you getting on the plane? Or you not getting on the plane? That's all I want to know. Are you getting on the plane like the old folks say? Look at Toot. Toot. You getting on the plane? Come here, Toot. Who getting on that plane? He's took you out. He's wine and dined you. You ain't been to his house, but you done had about 3, 4, 5 dates. And he said, listen, girl, Tasha Bay, right? Yeah. That's all I need to know. That's all you need to know for what? That first class seat. What first class seat? Shit, I'm trying to get you to Hawaii. When? I gotta work. Don't worry about that. Pack your bags. We going to Hawaii. Because you're not. Thank you. Are y'all going? Who getting on the plane? Thank you, Miss Tootie. Miss Tootie say, I'm going on that trip. MJ say, which island we going? Hey, what you gonna say? Which shoe look better with this outfit? Which should I do, the pink one or the red one? y'all over here capping. Miss Beverly says she going.
Stop the cap.
They say they go. Miss Beverly says she getting on that plane. Who else getting on that plane? Cass said, I packed and ready to go. I ain't trying to hear shit you talking about. Mama, let me go. Mama talking about that ain't a good man. That is a good man, Savannah. You don't know him. Girl, I don't need to know him. I'm about to get to know him. He ain't brought you to his house. I don't give a damn. How many of you get on that plane? How many of you are riding with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant about you should not go with a man on a trip if he hasn't invited you to his house first?
The first place you should be going when you visit this man is to his house, his casa.
Whoa.
If it ain't in his house, there's somebody else in his house.
Whoa.
Let me tell, first of all, I'm not doing nothing my first time flying.
Oh, okay.
Because that's casual sex.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, my bad.
No.
That was very presumptuous for me. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay. Take it back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this was,
If a man is not inviting you to his home, he is not thinking about making you his home. That's just what it is. Why am I flying out the country or state to see you for the weekend or two? Fly me in when we are at your house. And after I visit at your house a couple times, we could talk about going to Florida or Miami or Costa Rica or Colombia. Until then, I don't want to take a trip with you.
I call bullshit. Now, this is where it became very interesting. Let me drop the link. Who has those rules? I'm not going anywhere until I've seen your home. I must see your apartment. I'm calling bullshit. Because if that were the case, and if women held those type of standards, we wouldn't have as many single parent households. We wouldn't have as many baby mamas want to fight the other baby mama. Y'all lying. Y'all lying. Y'all lying. So y'all mean to tell me you wouldn't go to Hawaii, but you would go to his house first? Which seems safer, Hawaii or in his house, just you and him? Don't get up here lying, la. What are your thoughts?
Now, Queen Sheba, stop coming for me, okay?
I'm
Stop
coming.
it. All I have to say, I ain't going to neither. I ain't going to your house and I ain't going to no Hawaii trip. No way. And listen, this was a great interview. It was a great interview. But I may be like cynical, but it just showed me what he is. He's been like this anyway. We've been knowing he's dysfunctional. He's got, some issues. But I'm a firm believer not using your issues to defend how you treat people or the way you come across as a human being. And I don't know. I felt nothing for him, but I loved the way she was subtly like not taking jabs, but like throwing shade at him. I really like that because she's trying to make him see like you really need to change in order to see change. And he hasn't changed for shit. I don't care what anyone says. This is my opinion. I'm not a man hater, believe it or not, I'm not. But with him, I see it clearly for what he is.
Okay, let me say this. So you when you have these kind of interviews, it's not your job to change him because she's not trying to date him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So her approach has nothing to do with, well, let me pause. Let me see what the next person has to say. Hold on. Let me think about what you're saying, Lala. Welcome, Side Eye the Sage 7. What are your thoughts? You getting on that plane to go in Hawaii, or are you already in Hawaii?
Hey, Queen, listen, my only question is, are they serving pina coladas or are they serving rum punch when we
Period.
arrive?
They doing Mai Tais. Which one would you like?
Either I'm taking the Mai Tai. My
Hold
point is,
on. And they gonna be like this.
I heard about you. I was waiting on you at the door.
They knew you was getting on that plane.
listen, I honestly though, Queen, I think that Dr. Bryant's perspective is a very, very mature perspective. But if
Okay.
we're talking about younger women, the women that he likes, the women that he goes after, they're getting on a plane. And I think honestly, he knows that and she knows that. But I do think she was trying to give up a little game for the girls that he may be interested in, or trying to still get his attention after he had to pay out all of that money. But to me, I think she's trying to give them a little game like, hey, don't let him take you nowhere if you're trying to do something else other than be transactional. That's what I think she was trying to imply.
But I think she has to read the room and the ways of the world, because she did the same approach with Cam Newton and Jasmine. And she's like, I need to talk to her. See, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because these girls don't think anything's wrong with. See, we got to make sure that we don't put our or try to inflict our normal on them, because
I
they.
agree.
You get what I'm saying? So if
I
they're not,
I agree.
yeah, they're not. So you can't come in tearing up shit like that and trying to uproot the floorboards, because you're not gonna have an impact and an influence. The men are open because you're beautiful. The women are suspicious of you because it sounds foreign to them that you've never taken a trip. You've never, and that's why I think a lot of older women mess up, because you got to meet these girls where they are. You're talking about where you are now. They want to know how you got there. Does that make sense?
I 100% agree with you. And I think for her assumption is that she's going to dig deep and find something in him that doesn't want a transactional relationship. But I don't think it's there. I think he's comfortable. I think he just got caught up in this particular instance and he had too much dip on his chip. That's what it is.
Period. And I think when we hear a truth, we've got to accept it as women. Stop digging. And that's why I said I like Shannon in this moment. He seems so comfortable in his lifestyle. He's not trying to fake and pretend that he's trying to change. And it may be off-putting to some people like Lala, but that's his truth.
I could care less about Shannon Sharpe because he ain't my type of guy anyway. Okay, give me Deion Sanders. You know what I mean? F Shannon Sharpe because he calls himself Shannon Sharpe, but he ain't very sharp at all. Okay, he got finessed. He got
What the
finessed,
dog
and
doing? What the dog
Lala,
doing?
he ain't got no toes.
That's
I
Deion
don't care. He
Sanders,
ain't got no
girl.
toes. I don't care about no toes, girl.
No,
Have you
that's
seen how
Deion
fine that man
Sanders.
looks?
No,
That man
Lala
is
said she like Deion
fine.
Sanders. I said Deion ain't got no toes.
Girl, give me a man with no toes. Where he
Don't
going?
nobody care. Carucci right on over there.
Exactly. Dion is something else. But Shannon ain't sharp for shit. And I could
Why
care
y'all
less.
mad at what
But
Shannon do to y'all? Damn.
listen, listen, I've never been a fan of him. I've never been a fan, and
Let
I
me
never
find
will
out you
be.
was over there in Hawaii. Hold on, Lala.
Girl, I've never been to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii.
You was on that plane?
No, you couldn't pay me to get on no bloody plane for any type of man.
Okay.
Hell to the no. But I will say this, it did show a very vulnerable side of him. Okay, it did show a vulnerable side. But from my opinion is this is just it's for show. It's to clear up his a little bit of the image that he has left. It's to clear it up. But again, he doesn't owe anybody an explanation. What he does behind closed doors does behind closed door. But his situation ended up to be with a younger woman, and it came front street. But I don't care for him, and I could care less. But it was a good interview. It was a good interview. It was a good insight to him and. Anybody that can see him for what it is, you already knew he had those type of issues already. And he's a control freak. He loves control. You can see that.
Well, hold on. Let me see, because let me find out. Shannon and flew you from London, England to Hawaii. Is there something we need to
Don't try
know?
to ruin my name, Queen Shiva. Don't try to ruin my name.
Let me find out that you've been on that airline. Hold on. Lala, hold on. You're making me laugh. Let me play the rest of the interview. If I hear your name, I'm going to lose it.
I'm good because I have to have clarity that I'm not wasting my time. See, I have money. I can spend my own.
Wow.
But I need to make sure that my time, which I don't get back,
Right.
that I can't clock in or get another speaking event
Right.
back, is not wasted. And I don't want to be in a situation where I've allowed you to deceive me. Because every woman knows when a man moves a certain way, her spirit does something. Women just decide to go against it because they want that trip, they want that bag, they want that experience. We have to stop wanting experiences at the expense of our dignity, at the expense of our respect, at the expense of our self-love. Absolutely not. I always tell women this: if a man is trying to fly you out the country or the state that he lives in to see you or date you, he has a wife or a woman, 100%. The first place you should be going when you visit this man is to his house, his casa.
Whoa.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I'm not going to say that we shouldn't see. There's some women, oh, have you ever been to his house? No. So that wasn't an indication to you that he's married or he has a child or he has a partner. Yes, I get that. But I don't know if we should really be setting young women up that in order to know he's serious, that you have to be in his home, considering the violence that occurs behind closed doors. Does that make sense? So I'm kind of,
Yes,
I
it
don't
does.
know.
I don't agree with
I
it either.
agree.
I don't know why you're going to someone's house you never met before. What's that about?
He said, whoa, yeah, because they don't want you in their house. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to push back. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't, but what I will say is if you've never been, that's a strong indicator that he has a different life outside of what you possibly know. But I don't know if that's the first step to commitment, that he has to invite you, that's a strong requirement. Because now they chopping folks up and putting them in the walls. I don't want my
Yes,
nieces. No,
you're not
ma'am.
safe. You're not safe in somebody's house, especially early on. So that's
Yeah.
misdirected.
We don't know if we want to be like, I just don't know if that's, what we want to be doing.
FBI, open up! FBI, open up! FBI, open up!
Come get me. He got me in his basement. Listen, that's all I'm saying. So that was that. And then let me see if there's any more. Hold on. there was another take on, they really had a really good sit down. I thought she did a really good job overall. You know, there's a little bit of room for growth, but I understand her approach when working with athletes. But my thing is, I think you should handle all clients or patients or interviews the same. Therefore, nobody can ever jam you up or, you know, critique you and say you did this because you want this one. Now, I didn't like a long time ago how she handled the Angel Reese thing when Shaq was pushing up on Angel Reese. And although he says that's like a little niece and sister, you was talking about a booty short Shaq, and she came out and she defended Shaq. The point is, Angel asked him to quit talking like that. And she goes, oh, he didn't mean any harm. It doesn't matter what he meant. She wasn't comfortable with it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Yep.
does. Yes, it
Makes
does.
perfect sense.
Yep. How I See It TV says, I agree. If he never wants to fly you into the city he lives in, that's a red flag. It could be. Coco says, Coco Lee said, those women knew the relationships, thank you, were transactional up front. He made it clear. His dogs have more privileges. Oh, don't they be talking that stuff? Him and do y'all ever watch them?
Yes, I do. He loves those dogs. He's always
I
kissing
can't
their
take
little
too much.
chihuahua on the mouth and shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, he do. He be kissing his little dog. But listen,
I
him and
can't take too
Ocho has
much of him.
phenomenal chemistry.
They do. It's hilarious to watch. They do. They're a good duo. I like them together.
And Ocho just be like, Ocho don't really do nothing to earn his job. He just be like, for real, Unc? Damn, Unc. With the sunglasses on. I was like, but I love it. It's just enough. Ocho is like the perfect partner because he's a leader. And it's so dynamic for me to watch two alpha males get in a room and watch one purposely be an individual contributor. Ocho steps down and allow him to shine. And I just love the give and take of it. You know what I mean? This is Unc shit. I'm going to let him run it. He's not disgruntled about it. He's playing his role because at the end of the day, the check is the same, whether I utter one word or 1,000 words. I'm still walking away in this mofo with the same numbers on that check, that same direct deposit. And I feel like what they have is very positive because it's really hard to put Black people in the same room to work together because you going to get some type of friction in most cases if everybody's not up to par. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, and I like
too.
the fact that he gave Ocho like a chance after his scandal, what he went through.
Say
You know
that
what I
again,
mean?
Lala.
I said I like that he gave Ocho a chance after the scandal that he had and things that he went through. You know what I mean? And it just gave a unity of Black men sticking together and helping each other. And
That's
I
right.
think they have a good chemistry. I really do. They're funny. And Ocho, sometimes he comes on and you can tell he never watched any of the plays. He's just feeding off Shannon's, but it's great chemistry.
I agree. He just say sometimes Ocho, hold on. Sometimes Ocho just be like, yeah, for real, damn, I say Ocho don't give a damn. He probably high as a kite with them glasses on. Yvette says that's what I would do my part too. I always do when I'm in another woman's house, and I don't mean her physical house, and it's her shit. What you need my help with? You want to? Nah, this your shit. I'm just happy to be here. You get what I'm saying? And I think they found that chemistry. I think him and Dr. Cheyenne, he let her do her thing as the expert. That's what I'm trying to say. He allowed her to do her thing. He didn't try to stonewall her. He didn't try to roadblock her. He didn't try to trump her. He knows it's his podcast and his platform. He could have been very resistant, but he wasn't. Does that make, I hope that, and that's why I said I feel like it's a really, really good interview. Now, I want to go over this real quick about him not liking Black women or Black men that say, who's stealing money? I'm being funny. I remember that. Baby Paula, Hurricane Paula, she gave me post-traumatic stress anxiety. Y'all never saw Ocho's mom on Marriage Boot Camp? His
No, I
mom,
didn't see that.
it's old. She passed away in the house by herself. That's why I be telling people, don't be hooping and hollering like that. All that yelling through the screen. You finna give yourself a heart attack. Yelling and stuff. But the point is, his mama was something else. He looked just like her. His mom
was crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Bless her, may her soul rest in peace.
Hurricane Paula, Her name was Paul, but they called her. She wanted to fight everybody in the house. I remember that. I was
Damn.
scared. Huh?
I said, damn, she wanted to fight everybody?
Yeah, in that house. You got to go back and watch it. Marriage Boot Camp. Just type in Chad Ochocinco and his mom. So here we go. We're going to cover this little small piece and then we out of here.
Why is that an issue? I want to ask you that as a black man.
Yes.
Why is that a problem for y'all to cleave, which means evolve, which means lose parts of you when you are in a relationship? Why is there so much resistance of I am who I am? I'm not changing. You met me like this.
Yeah. That's a lot. Because I feel because like you said, we are losing parts. If we lose parts of ourselves, am I still the same Shannon?
But why do you want to be the same Shannon, even if you're by yourself? So do you want to be the same 30-year-old Shannon you were?
No.
So then why do you want to be that on your number 2 with me? Or your number 5 with me? Why is it that me being the woman you chose,
Yes.
I got to be of some good character?
Yeah.
So my good character hasn't influenced you in any way to want
It made me want to do right.
to do better?
Yeah.
To do right.
But can I say
Hold on.
me?
I haven't watered any seeds in you?
Now, that's the part where we kind of get into being a pick-Misha, which I have not. See, because if a man's not going to let you in, why are we negotiating our value and our influence and our femininity and our womb power? And there's no part about me that could get you. Listen, if the door is closed, the door is closed. We got to move on.
Close the
Big
door.
facts, Queen. Big facts. A man will never change for anybody. He only can change for himself. So if he's telling you this is me, accept me as I am, you either accept it or you move on. Ain't no one gonna stay with a 30-year-old man that thinks he's still 20 years old. Get the hell out of here.
Queen, I have a question about her method. I noticed that I know she's a professional, but she personalizes a lot of the argument that she makes for other women. And to your point about the way that she phrases things and the way that she talks to people, I've never seen a therapist do that. Is that something that's common when she refers to herself, the way she personalizes the argument? I haven't watered any seeds. I think that's a little strange, but maybe you can tell me if that's a common practice.
It's not best practice because you have to ask permission. Do you mind if I share because it's their session typically that they're paying for and they should be the focus. So oftentimes if you want to insert any personal experience, it should only be to help them move along, and it should only be to give them the only way you should be personalizing a session is if they get stuck and you've given them enough time to think and think and think and think and think and homework and homework and homework. And then they're stuck and you say, do you mind if I share a time that I was in your position and I was faced with the same challenge? So only if they're stuck, and then they have to give you permission because it's their session. It's their time. Everything is about them, period. Never about you. So, that's what I'm saying. I don't want her to start to customize the sessions based on who she's in front of. If she just sticks with the regular pieces, you see a Yana Van Zandt with the same in and out, right? Whether people liked it or not, but it kept her in order, right? Because when you start to go off script, that's when you can get in trouble and you start to use terms like love. And if you run across the right crazy, he or she may actually believe you love them. He or she may take that to believe that they're in a relationship with you. So you have to keep it on the straight and narrow. That's all I'm saying. And you also don't want to ever disclose too much about yourself as a provider to your patients, because you want to remain the expert in the room.
Thank you for the answer. There was something on TikTok with a person who was in a one-sided, very delusional relationship with a therapist, and it got to be pretty wild. So yeah, she has to be careful.
Yeah,
yes, I know what you're referring to. I remember that was crazy.
She was a Looney Tune, Lala.
Looney,
oh my God,
crazy
what
chick.
a nut!
Oh my God.
Yeah, you always want to remain in the driver's seat as a professional. You don't want to use too many examples about you, because now it becomes familiar and they no longer see you as a therapist, but a person who shared the same problems, a person that's having man problems. So they're coming to you for a reason. That's it. And I hope that helps. Does that help?
Yes.
Yes, I get it. She just kept saying I and me and I've poured into you. And I get what she was doing. It was just an odd, like I've never seen that. And like I said to you in the comments, my therapist is very strict. So it was just an interesting approach.
Okay, they are strict. They're supposed to be strict. They got to draw the line. Let's see what she has to say here.
I wish I knew the answer.
And you look like you might be not willing to grow, Fig Tree. At what point? And then biggest deficits and issues within our Black community, of Black and men being in relationship. At what point do we grow? If you're not willing to grow, Fig Tree, at what point? And then when God curses this marriage, head that get sewed up.
So that's another thing about therapy. Unless you're a Christian counselor, and I don't know like a lot about what networks she's aligned to, who she's contracted to, if she's just an independent contractor, right? You can't assume everybody, and I don't want to critique her too hard. That's why, okay, so that's why you have to identify yourself. You have to be, there's this integrity, transparency you have to have in the world of therapy, period. There's rules and bylaws. If you're going to be bringing God into the conversation, you have to register yourself as a Christian counselor. Not to say you only specialize in Christianity and spiritual, but just so that they know that God may get dropped in the conversation. So I don't know if she is registered or all of that, but I'm pretty sure she's checked off all her stuff, or I hope so. But this is for people that may be considering, or so you can't just look at social media and say, oh, Dr. Cheyenne is doing good without knowing the rules, the policies and procedures, right? If you're going to be dropping God, then make sure you're registered and they're offering you up as a Christian counselor. Does that help?
Makes sense.
Yes, it does. And also there was parts of it that I felt like she was too generalizing instead of focusing on him. I didn't understand that part, but I don't know, there's something. It was a great interview, I think, but there were certain parts that I just thought, no.
Let me play it. Hold on, maybe we'll come across it. Hold on, Lala.
End up dead. So at what point do we grow together? This is one of the biggest deficits and issues within our Black community, of Black and men being in relationship. At what point do we grow? If you're not willing to grow, Fig Tree, at what point? And then when God curses.
Child, Shannon ain't trying to hear that. Hold on. She's talking a little too much. That's why, because remember, it's still up. Hold on, let's go.
Is this marriage, head, because you covering me, because you refuse to be fruitful and multiply, Fig Tree? Then what? I didn't do my job? Or was I too controlling? Or was I trying to be your mama? Or was it that you chose to sit up there with branches, unfruitful, not multiplying, because you didn't want to be pruned?
Now, some of this can be performative, and I think that Dr. Hicks may have said it earlier where, hey, this could be, a little bit of this and that, where she's just trying to get a television deal. So that's some of that, what you're seeing, because typically therapists aren't going to fire off that much. They're going to give you a question. So it's a little bit of Hollywood, a little Motown in there. Does that make sense? But typically that will not be the exchange that you have in therapy. But I don't know if she's operating as a therapist or if she's just operating as a guest. And that's where she has to be very clear. It's just tricky. Does that make sense? And she could just be operating as a guest. Go ahead.
I thought she was I didn't think she was operating as a therapist. I'll be honest with you. I feel like she was giving her point of views as a therapist, but it was very theatrical, if you get my drift, Queen. Very Hollywood. She was selling herself, to be honest with you. I'll be honest. She was selling herself, and rightly so. She's on one of the biggest podcasts, so she was doing that. But she gave him some gems to take home and work with, in my opinion.
Okay, let's see. If he's interested, let's go.
For us to grow. I'm just curious. I'm waiting to know the answer.
I wish I knew the answer.
And you look like you might be the only Black man in this room besides the brother over there, and he's not in this interview with me.
No.
So why? You got to answer. You got to come up with some
Well,
answer.
Doc, if I knew that, I probably wouldn't be almost 60 and not married.
And I've heard you talk about how you are
She got to pause.
in relationships.
I am. I mean,
And you're
like you
very-
say, you got something non-negotiable. I got some
Right,
non-negotiable.
but you're very, and I don't say this to, poke you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, wrapped in love. You're very stuck in who you are in relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very, this is who I am.
But how do you know that? Outside of what you, unless you know him personally, you get a feel for him the same way we do. Does that make sense?
Yes, but he gave
Yeah.
himself away at the beginning. He said, "We don't want, I don't want to change. That, you change yourself, you lose yourself." He gave it away, Queen.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
That's why I wonder.
And when I
why
want my
she's
space, I want my
pushing.
space. And I don't need to.
Go ahead.
I said, that's why I wonder why she's pushing. It's almost like she's leaning on him to become somebody, but he's made it clear that he's comfortable in the space that he's in. So
Well,
it
that's
is
where you
giving a
have to.
little
That's where
Dr. Cheyenne fix my life.
Yeah, well, that's the part where that's the part I'm still trying to figure out, and I don't want to critique her too bad. Where I'm like, is she a guest, or are they doing a therapeutic session? And but she's a guest, but because of her therapeutic background, it just feels like therapy, and that's the part I'm trying to figure out. And I may
Queen,
have,
can I? Oh,
and I
sorry.
may have to go and kind of read the description. Go ahead, Lala.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to say also, she's pushing him because look what he just said. I don't know. I'm 60 and not married.
But
She's
you don't
pushing him
push
because
as a therapist. You allow them to push yourself.
yes, I understand that, but I think she's trying to draw more out of him because he's very reserved and shut off. But the
Yeah.
way he said it, Queen, that was vulnerable. That was a bit of vulnerability from him when he said, "I don't know, I'm 60 and not married." It kind of hurts him deeply, but he knows he doesn't have what it takes to work on himself in order to get married and be in a successful relationship,
See,
a
I didn't
happy
take it as
relationship.
vulnerability. I take it as a teenage boy. I don't know.
But that's the vulnerable side, Queen.
That's
He's
not
60.
vulnerable. That's almost like, let's
Yeah.
move on.
No, that's
He was
vulnerable,
pouting,
Queen.
Lala. He didn't want to hear
Yeah,
that
that ain't
mess.
vulnerable. If
No,
you're around
play
men,
it back.
that's like,
Play it
let's move
back.
in. Okay,
Queen,
she
play
was
it back.
operating. Hold on. They said she was operating as a guest. I don't think it was vulnerability. I think the vulnerability is when he was talking about his father.
But Queen, just play it back and hear that voice. Hear his voice.
Okay, Desira said, I don't like the fact that she's over talk. If she would pause a little bit, I think she can get more out of it. Okay, hold on. Let me, Kenza Nay says, Dr. Bryant used to practice as a licensed marriage therapist, family and a child therapist, licensed family marriage therapist in California. Now she primarily practices as a psychology expert life coach. Okay, she's not a therapist then. Because let me tell you why. You can't be a therapist and a life coach. You're either or. She's a life coach that has a psychology degree. Do y'all understand? Or no?
Yep, I got it.
Yes.
Okay. I have a master's in psychology, but I'm not a therapist. Got it?
Yep.
You'll never catch a therapist or a psychologist referring to themselves as a life coach, ever. Ever. Is considered an insult. A life coach can push. A therapist typically doesn't. And to be honest with you, the only way a life coach would push is with questions like she's asking. Therapists are going to hold space. So I don't want to, she's done a great job, but I think if she just kind of gives him it depends on what they're talking about. And because it is an interview and y'all said she showed up as herself and not a therapist, she's probably a little bit passionate about particular things.
Need a shift or change, you can do what's conducive to me type thing.
Yeah.
And so that is the resistance. But you just said as a single man, you would not want to be the same 30-year-old you are now.
I don't, but I just.
So why do you want a woman to be with you?
Okay, now this is a little bit of badgering. But let's go.
Are you the same person you were when I met you?
I'm working. I'm a work in progress. It's taking me longer than anticipated. I had to repeat a couple of grades.
Okay.
I think, to be honest, Doc, I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe like you say you had this vision of being married. I don't know if I really, really deep down inside thought about I was going to ever be married. Because
I appreciate his honesty.
I was just, My whole focus was to get my family out of the environment that we was in.
Right.
And I didn't necessarily think, I thought I needed a wife in order to do that.
That's real. He said, a woman never crossed my mind when I thought about my ticket to freedom, success in life. It did not include a woman. Ladies, y'all got to start listening. But you need a wife. Who's going to take? That man just said, when I sat and I envisioned what success was like, I didn't need a woman to make me feel successful. I didn't need a woman to fill the void. That's neither a positive or a negative. But if we can start coming to the table and just listening to people without judgment, it makes it a very interesting conversation where you're open and you say, well, tell me a little bit more about that. I disagree. And I think a lot of times when people get mad is because it triggers something inside of us that may be important to us. And we couldn't imagine not having a partner. We couldn't imagine living without our loved ones. So who is this strange piece of fruit that says, I'm okay by myself? Then we start saying, well, you got mama issues. You have daddy issues. Not necessarily. This is a person that just said, when I was younger, I never thought a woman was the solution for me. And not because I'm gay. I just didn't. That was not, but y'all, when you really think about it, the mama was not a permanent figure in the household. The grandmother was. Let's continue. Here we go.
So it was just work, focus. And I don't do a great job of multitasking. So I can't do my job and love this person like I love this job. That's the hardest part because I've always put work first. Work has always come first. When I played, it was the most important thing. It was the only thing. You play second, or if you can't play second, just we ain't no sense in you getting in the car. And so it's so hard for me to turn that off because I've done it for so long. And now that I have so many people counting on me, brother, sister, mom, kids, it's just hard for me. And the thing that I got, that's all you do is work. The only thing that you care about is work. And sometimes I think that is true.
Oh, this is good. So what he's saying is that's just not the way I envision my life. My family's important to me. Those are the most important people. And I don't factor in having a wife. I got everything I need. And that means sex is transactional to him, y'all. There's some people that say, I'm not marrying you, but I'm going to sleep with you because the deep love that I require, even though it's dysfunctional, I get that from my kids. I get the affection I need from my grandma, and not in a sexual way. I feel at home with my family. So every now and then, yeah, I'm going to invite you over and I'm going to sleep with you and I'm going to get my rocks off. And no pun intended, I'll see you later. That takes me to his reaction to Trevon Boykin disrespecting Russell Wilson. And his reaction was, now, why would you go in that man's house and do that? Now I understand, or I feel like I have a deeper understanding of Shannon's reaction. It's because, listen, although he can relate to Trevon, because they both live the same life. They don't really have this affinity for women, but we don't know or haven't heard of Shannon breaking somebody's jaw, right? They're actually more alike than any of them are alike with Russell. But at the end of the day, I think his thing to Trevon is, you have a deficit. I know I have a deficit. And this man has been able to achieve something that we haven't. That don't mean we shit on him. So that's kind of where I go with that. Like, that's why I feel like he was kind of disgusted with Trevon, because he's like, you broken. I know I'm broken. But just because we broken, we don't attack those that are doing better than us in the category of love. You ladies feel me?
Yes, Queen,
I feel you, Queen.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
I've gone on one vacation in 57 years.
Wow.
But what are you overcompensating for?
See, that's a negative in therapy, because you cannot assume that it's over. You can say, tell me more about that. And that's where she has a lot of work to do. Don't emphasize a negative where he's open. He's telling you stuff we don't even know. I never knew this man is 60 and has only gone on one freaking vacation, has never taken a day off. And you said, what are you overcompensating for? That can lead to an adverse reaction.
And Queen, it also shows for her part that she's just not in touch with people who come out of poverty when you finally get out of the mud. And I think I said that in your comments earlier. He was focused on getting out of the mud. And when you get out of the mud and you never want to go back to the mud, when you have people relying on you, people don't prioritize the same things. Even though he made it out and he has money, he's going to continue to work like that because that's what he knows. That's what got him out of it. She missed the mark there.
Well, she put a negative on him. Nobody likes to be. What do you mean I'm overcompensating because I like to work? I just like to work. So you don't want to assume that. Let's continue.
Because workaholics are overcompensating for something they're lacking.
But he never said he was a workaholic. He said he just didn't take a vacation.
And oftentimes work is.
Al, you missed a moment, Dr. Cheyenne. Watch this. He was about to answer. Watch this.
They're overcompensating for something they're lacking. And oftentimes
well, maybe they cut it out. Did they edit this before I go too hard? If this is the full version without any edits and he took that deep breath, I would have loved to have heard what he said.
Oftentimes work is transactional.
Yes.
It's not relational. It's transactional.
Yes.
Oftentimes folks will overcompensate in transactional worlds for what they're lacking in relational worlds. And it's usually because of what you said. They don't know how to operate in the.
Well, then I could apply that same rhetoric to you because you're working right now as opposed to interviewing and having a good time. You know what I mean? So we got to be careful because you're working. And if this isn't a therapeutic session, you're applying therapeutic strategies. So it could the same. I don't know. This clip lost me a little bit. I was following with the daddy and all of that, but it's just I don't know about this one. You like her style? It's the New Yorker in me. Get straight to the point and miss me. Yeah. That's fine, but you got to pause and allow them to get their thoughts. And sometimes people have to sit with their thoughts. That's the only part that I wish that she would just give them a second. Sometimes it takes men a second, y'all. Men don't have as many words as women. And that's where a lot of women mess up. Because can we talk? And he'd be like, shit, am I going to be able to get a word in edge-wise? And this is the perfect example. When women talk too much, you got to pause. Let him catch up because we can fire off 1,000,000 miles a minute. His brain is trying to process what you said. And before he, you're going to lose him in the turn. So you got to pause. Let them chew on it. Give them a second. Their wheels are turning. You can see them. Let's go. Watch this. You got to give them a second.
In the relational world.
No.
But they do well over here.
I do.
And we all go where we do what?
Best.
Well.
Yes. That's why I don't do a whole lot of things, but what I do, I'm very good at.
Yeah.
I don't take on new hobbies because I hate, well, how do you know if you're good at it? I know. And so what I'm good at, I become great at. I think.
But I want to know.
Let him talk. Y'all, we do it a lot in relationships. We be arguing. You got to let them finish. Hold on.
When are you going to give yourself a chance to love and be loved? Because you don't have to enter into it being great already. You just have to enter into it with the willingness to shift and be malleable, not to the woman, but to the opportunity of you being loved and loving somebody back.
Yeah.
Which is really.
Okay, now I'm going to have to turn it off. Dr. Cheyenne, you dominated in this segment. And I know y'all agree with the style, but she could have got a lot. She just got, and I know she cooking and she doing her thing, but if you just let him get in there, because, you're interviewing him, or he actually allowed her to take the lead on Club Shay Shay, and that's typically his job. But if you're going to take the lead and you're going to be the interviewer, you gotta pause for a second. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't like the part that she didn't pause a lot and she didn't let him finish. Like it felt like she wasn't interrupting, but if she was messing up the flow. And also when she said, you got to allow yourself to love, that was like, get out of here, in my opinion.
I
Say it
agree,
again.
Lala. Hmm.
Thank you. And there's it's just, he doesn't believe in love, and that's okay. If a man doesn't believe in love and he just wants a relationship that's frivolous and based on, their sexual needs, go ahead. But you can't convince a man to believe in love when he doesn't believe in love.
I don't think it's not. So it's not that he don't believe it. He's never felt it. He can't talk about
But
something he
Queen, a
never
lot of
felt.
people haven't felt love, Queen. A lot of people
But
haven't felt it, but they
now,
still believe in it.
he can't believe it. He's an athlete. He has to see it and touch it. This is a athlete where you touch a ball, you push a person. So he hasn't felt it. You see what I'm saying? It's not a one size fit all. He said he never felt it. He saw his dad one time. When his dad was dying, his dad refused to allow anybody to love on him. His dad had his the bone of the jaw taken out because and then he didn't want the kids to see him. So he never got a chance to even demonstrate love, let alone receive it. And the only love that he could demonstrate is the love for the field and the ball. So this is where we have to say, damn, people really do grow up differently. He can't believe in something that he's never seen. Do you believe in the Easter Bunny?
No, but that's totally
No,
different thing.
no. That's
No,
why.
Queen, you're trying to trap me.
Why? Why not?
Because it doesn't exist, but love
No, let me ask
exists.
you, how come you don't believe in the Easter Bunny?
Because it doesn't exist, in my
Okay,
opinion.
what about Santa Claus?
It doesn't exist.
All right, but that's the same thing to him. Love doesn't exist. It's not that he's never felt it, he's never seen it. And when we start looking at people like that, it actually lowers our judgment towards them. And you're like, damn, you start to have a heart for them and be like, damn, that's crazy. You went your whole life as a kid not being hugged and touched and kissed. Yeah, you got food. Somebody drove you to practice, but that's not love. That's checking off something off a list. You wonder what it would like to have a father in a locker room, a mother. Y'all, if you can't find compassion in that.
I feel compassion for him. Don't get me wrong. I do feel compassion for him, but I just know this guy doesn't believe in love. Like, it's not because he hasn't seen it, felt it, touched it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But because there's orphans out here that are loving on their women and loving on their men. There are people that grew up in foster care, didn't have that kind of thing, but still believe in love. I feel like love is a belief. It's either you believe or you don't. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't believe. And that's okay. And that is okay. That's my point, is it's okay not to believe. But
Oh,
I'm a lover girl. I believe in love. I believe it.
that's because you got love.
No, yes, I do have love.
Thank you.
I do have love. Yeah, you got me there, Queen.
Look, thank you. But watch this. They said, unfortunately, she didn't give him enough time or let him take a long enough beat to think and say who or what was coming to the surface when she fed him dad. You show right. He didn't say who. He didn't say dad hurt him. She said it. You show right. He was like, yeah. You show right. The great pretender says she wanted the star moment. Probably that's in this clip. It's hard to follow because she's dominating it, and I would love. And domination is okay, if you need to move them along. But golly, let me
the ultimate fulfillment.
and see what else we can.
And she say, Pete, they gonna love you regardless. They just want to see their
Oh
dad.
no, we saw that.
And he said, you know what? He said, you know what, Charlie, I'm gonna come home in September.
Over here. Because we can only do.
It's not. I think, Doc, for me, growing up how I grew up and not having it just drove me. And that was the thing that I really obsessed about, was to see my grandmother not have to worry about bills and not have to worry about things. And so I just poured everything. God gave me the ability to be disciplined, be dedicated, and be determined. And so for me,
Wait, but not to a woman.
no, because if there was
It was to a woman. He said his grandmother was the deciding factor in the discipline and dedication. You not listening to him.
a choice, Doc, if I had a choice between work or woman, I'm choosing work.
But that's because work is safe for you.
It is.
What is so
You don't know that. You have to ask him.
unsafe with you emotionally with the woman?
I think for me, I haven't had the best luck with women.
Why?
And we heard that, so we can stop it now. But I just wish she would have allowed him to really be. I mean, it's a great interview, but we can see on both sides there's some opportunities here. We can kind of, and that's why we like to break it down. But she still did a great job. The part about the father, because he was open. This part seems more of a power struggle between the two of them in this dynamic, because it's almost like, okay, I got you to open up about your father. I got you to admit that you're selfish. I got you to admit that women are not prioritized. I think that was the touchdown, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I think you could have left it there and allow him to just kind of float his way through the interview. What do y'all think?
I agree, Queen. I think that there were definitely some areas where she pushed, where I feel like she should have pulled back and let him speak and let him say his own truth instead of driving the point. And someone said earlier they think it's the New York in her. And to a point, I do understand that. But an important piece of conversation is not just talking. But if you want an open dialogue, listening is way more important than driving the conversation and putting words in his mouth. Let him talk. And I think she did a great job too. But I want to see her, if she's going to do this more on these larger pods, it would be good for her to let people speak and let them develop their thoughts. Let them talk through what they're feeling instead of telling them what they feel.
I agree. I think she needs to listen more, let them, actually say what they're feeling instead of interjecting all the time. And also, I think she did a great interview. It was a great interview. We saw a side to him that we don't normally see. So I think she did well on that. But I think if she ever wants to do it again, she needs to take a step back and let her work that she's done and the things that she's saying speak for itself and let that person process it. She doesn't give them enough time for them to process anything that she says.
Excellent point. Excellent point. The side-eye Sage 7, thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper. She says, dropping something on the meal because I know you're going to cook. I hope I did a good job. Thank you. Yep. Thank you so much.
You're
That's
welcome,
all we
Queen.
Thank you. That's all we have. I just think I think she does a great job with this. This is probably one of the few interviews that I've been interested in with Dr. Cheyenne, because I kind of feel like she's male centered. I haven't really seen her in action with women. Have y'all?
No. And I will
No,
say
I
this,
haven't seen
Queen,
her.
you did a great
Mhm.
job. Like, I love when you do these kind of segments because you give us all sides. You know what I mean? All the sides that we need to see, and you hone in on it. And I think it was great, Queen. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Lava.
I
Well, I
agree. Thank
started
you
off
for a
with the
good session.
positive. I started off with all the things I feel like she did that were just like touchdowns. Go ahead, Sage.
I said, no, I agree with Lala. Thank you for a good and nuanced take. That's why I love coming to the palace. You always going to provide the nuance. We're going to see things from a different perspective. And I did see a more human side of him, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I did too. But I would love to see her. A part of me hesitates to jump on the bandwagon, and not because I know her or anything like that. I have no ill will, but I have not seen her dynamics with a woman. See, I can see how a woman operates with men, but so one of the things in corporate America, they did a study with women that rise to power and positions in C-suite levels. Most of them, even though they're not required to, they often lose a little bit of femininity, according to the women that survey them, that become their subordinates, and they feel like they can't relate to that female CEO, that female COO, and they describe them as very domineering, very masculine, and not in their appearance or look, but they're like, They come in acting like men, and the women are afraid of them because although we recognize that you're in a position of leadership, we thought there would be a little bit of softness and I can come to you and talk to you. But shit, it's like talking to a man, you know? So I haven't seen her dynamics with the woman, and I would love to see her and how she deal with women, and not just celebrity women, but with everyday women. I want to see her operate on different levels to see if this is actually the real deal. That's it.
I would like to see that too, because that will give a really good insight on the way she deals with women and their thought processes and their emotions. So I would like to see that too.
Oh, they say she's more softer with women. I would love to see her. I mean, and I don't want teen moms, to me, those are girls, but I haven't seen her with women. And maybe I need to go looking in the archives. But that's all I got tonight. Oh, it's the same way? Okay, y'all have seen her with women. Oh, okay. I haven't.
I haven't either, Queen. Maybe I'm behind.
Neither have I.
Okay. Well, either they're not being publicized a lot. That's crazy. We have to go digging for her interactions with women, but the men, the things she do with the men are being pushed out to the forefront. But all right, that's all we got. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Lala and
you.
Side-Eye.
Bye.
Okay, y'all have a
Good
good night.
night.
Everybody have a really good night. Thank you, and have a wonderful day at work tomorrow.